What does it take to create a vibrant, thriving life? First, the sad news is that Thoreau was right. Most people are leading quiet lives of desperation, lacking in meaning, fulfillment, and vitality. But we choose more. We choose to create extraordinary lives. And the Art of Vibrant Living show entertains you with inspiration, empowerment, and education to create your life into a masterpiece. It's time. Let's vibe up. Aloha, y'all. Daniel Aaron here. I'm your host. This is the Art of Vibrant Living show, and we are indeed here to help you create your life into a masterpiece. We got an amazing, super cool show. You're going to love this dude. His story is so inspiring and cool. I'm curious what it will spark for you. Now, before I bring our guest up, a request, a suggestion, I implore you, do something with the information you get. Information in and of itself is cool. It's not sufficient though. So do something, take it on, try something out. Deepak is going to bring you some gold. And by the way, if you would like some more support, some more help, please reach out to me. I would love to be in conversation with you. Conversation, whether it's the one in our own head or with somebody else, that is how all things are created. You can email me, daniel@danielaaron.com. Deepak Saini helps others to optimize mental, physical, and financial performance. Having spent many stressful years in the corporate world and overcoming an autoimmune condition and a back injury, he brings a unique perspective to working with his clients. When this father of two is not spending time with his wife and daughters, he is researching and staying at the forefront of emerging and cutting-edge health research. Deepak is also a speaker, podcast host, published writer, and actively working on becoming a Centenarian. Deepak, thank you so much for being with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Daniel, for having me. I appreciate it. And hi, everyone out there watching.
Yeah, well, I'm thrilled to get a chance for you to inspire people. And you don't have to do anything especially to do that, because the fact that you're alive and healthy is already inspirational. All right. I confuse people because they're like, dude, what are you talking about? I know a little bit of your story. Not everybody does. So would you share a bit about how it is that you are here and the work you're doing? How'd you get to this place?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll give enough detail to intrigue you all, but not to need to ask some questions there for you, Daniel. So let me just rewind back. I was always the chubby kid growing up. As far back as I can remember, I was always chubby, overweight. I'd be, getting these coughs and, ear infections and all this sort. I was like constantly on antibiotics all the time. And even as I got older into my teens and at chronic bronchitis and all these kind of things, like 3-4 times a year, almost changed. I would get like sick, and that just kept going well into my adulthood. When I was 18 years old, I was over 100 pounds heavier than I am right now. I would have been classified as morbidly obese at 18. So if those weren't challenges enough, in 2014 is when a real daughter was a baby at the time, and I ended up hurting my back such that I had no flexion in my back, which that means is I couldn't bend over at the waist, couldn't bend forward at the waist. I could not pick up my daughter, her crib. So that was kind of my really low point. I couldn't do any of the activities I wanted to do, physically, as well as I couldn't pick up my younger daughter, couldn't play with my older daughter. A lot of pain myself at the time, but probably with some depression going on as well. But I really took, the goal of wanting to be present, my wife, but especially with my children, and being able to be interactive and play with them and do all those sorts of things that led me on the journey to, find solutions. I live here in Canada, and it's not or anywhere else that might be where you might be watching from, but let's just say the Western medical system did me no favors. I found
Deepak,
alternative. Yeah, please.
hold on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Let me interrupt for a second, just because your story is teasing us well, in part because it looks like the internet keeps freezing up. So you say half a sentence, and then there's a moment of pause, and then another part. And so far, we're able to piece it all together. But let me just check in with you if there's anything you can close down or anything that you can do that would speed up your internet before we go on, because it would be cool if we can get the whole story.
Absolutely. I don't have much open, but I will see what I can close. I don't have let me do this one thing here.
Well, and while you're looking at that, myself and the audience, right?
Okay, I've closed everything that I can. So
All right. Well, and if y'all are watching live or by rebroadcast, because the future affects the past and the past affects the future, not going to go into the metaphysics on that right now. Pray for clear signal so we can get all of Deepak uninterrupted. All right, we'll work it out. Please continue, Deepak.
All right. I don't know what was the last thing you heard, but I'll speed it up here. So Western medical system modality to heal my back. And in conjunction of that, I also started to make lifestyle changes, and just the whole idea, just generally bringing inflammation down in my body. And when my back recovery happened quicker, the last 60 of the 100 pounds I lost months, and my autoimmune condition went into remission. I've essentially not been sick in the last 10 years. That includes during COVID. I was doing those things, having those results and doing some things right that people in my, I should have mentioned earlier, I'm a CPA by corporate Canada and accounting and finance. Colleagues, coworkers, business associates started asking me like, hey, and people only see the outside. Nobody ever sees our internal struggle. They only see the outside. They only saw the weight loss. They said, hey, what are you doing? And so I started informally mentoring and coaching people. And then after about a year that, I was like, I was kind of a pivot point for me. And the rest has kind of been history. So I started kind of what we now call a side hustle in 2017, and then 2018 I've been started coaching full time.
All right. Well, we'll have to see, because I know I have an advantage because I know you a little bit, but I caught the whole story, and hopefully others did too. And that's amazing, right? To like, one of the best things about your story, which I can relate to a lot myself, is having been a fat kid, right? I remember in my teens just being so upset and depressed, thinking this is never going to change. I can't change it. And a lot of my family were fat. And I remember saying to my mother once, we were walking into a store, I said, Mom, do you think people look at us and think, wow, there goes a fat family? Not a smart thing to say to my mother. She was so upset by that. And part of what I realized is she was just like me, right? She felt powerless to change it. So I know for me, changing my body was the key, because then I realized, like, wow, I thought I couldn't change that. Now, what else is possible that I didn't think was possible before, right? So have you had any kind of experience like that, Deepak? I mean, from being in such dire circumstances at that point to 10 years not getting sick, being super healthy as you are now. What else has changed for you because of that?
Yeah, a great question, Daniel. I'd say first off, it was actually the mental change for me. A little bit of a mental change, like doing the actions and why I wanted to do them. My North Star, or my purpose, or why, whatever you want to call it, that got me to make those changes. So that was initial. So that was kind of made the physical change. But then it was a secondary kind of like, oh, I didn't realize how good it can be to feel this way. I'd been, sick and overweight for lack of, I can remember. I don't remember what it felt to like feel good again. And that really opened up the possibilities in my own mind of what I could have for my own health. And you said it in my bio, I have a publicly stated goal to be a centenarian, which, some people cringe when they think that because they have a notion of what maybe their parents or their grandparents went through. And that's not my framing, completely different than what most people do. So opening that mindset of what is possible, not only for myself, but that also translated into how my coach over time as well. And I think it's just as we're all in whatever it resonates with us, just keep an open mind and a growth mindset about things. We'll be much better off for whatever goal.
Okay, we are getting not everything you're saying. So let's see. I'm not sure. Well, we got someone gave us a kind thumbs up. Well, and if you're still there, Linda, I wonder maybe you could tell us. Yeah, freezing. I'm freezing too. Huh. Okay. Well, we got some weird things. How's it look on your end, Linda? Are you still there? Is it freezing up for you? You can drop us a comment and let us know. Maybe it's just us that are having challenges here. Who knows? Maybe inside the studio it's funky and everywhere else it's a beautiful day. We'll find out. Well, let's keep going and see if if our prayers are answered and things get better for us. And I want to rewind a moment, Deepak, because I didn't quite catch what you said about your goal to be a centenarian. And then some people have concerns or worries or judgments about that. Something to do. I didn't catch that. Will you say that part again?
Yeah, absolutely. When people hear that I have chosen, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm going to die trying. But some people, they have that notion of that they would never want that for they have experience with either their parents or their grandparents struggling for their last few life, maybe the end of last few days or weeks being in the hospital, tubes up your nose, being reliant on others. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, living, life to the fullest, living in my own home, stand up paddleboard, and all the activities that I love doing right until the very, very end, and not suffering along the way. And many people are alive, but they're not really living, right? They're not vibrantly living for decades. Sometimes not what I'm all about, and I'm trying to work with not only my clients but just educate people, like in shows like this, so not to just to change your mindset around that, and take the steps now, even if you're to take the steps now, so that your last decade or two of life is what you actually want.
100% with you, Deepak. That's beautiful. It's like I think we were sold a picture of what life looks like, which is, well, actually, I was going to say it's like a bell curve, but I think for a lot of people, it's like it peaks around 18 and then it's all downhill from there. I remember some of the people that I went to high school with that consider like the end of high school the pinnacle for them, and not just physically but emotionally and mentally. And what I hear you saying is we can actually have a life progression that's all uphill, better until the very end, and we just it falls off at that point, and whatever happens then happens. That might be beyond our pay grade for this show, as to what happens then. So let me ask you this then. This is a bit of a weird question, perhaps. Centenarian is a cool goal, and I 100% believe that's possible for you, possible for me. Is it absolutely necessary that we actually die at some point, or is physical immortality possible?
That's a great question. I think that question is above my pay grade, Daniel. This is my thought on it. right? Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It's just transferred. So I think in us, our spirit, lives on in what that might look like. A Hindu, so we believe in reincarnation. Now, I'm not super religious. I'm not a super strong, even practicing Hindu. I'll be the first to admit that. But I do believe in reincarnation. So, like in karma and think in the world, give more to the world than you're taking out, so that whatever you may come back as, that type of thing. So I think I've now gone in a spiral of thought. I forgot the original question here, but I think that we can live on, and we're not going to remember it. Although that's even with with some tools like timeline therapy and others that I also work with as well. Many people believe things, or not believe, they have sensations and memories around previous lives. As well. So again, even that, I'm continuously being challenged in my own mindset, and amazed at the wonders of the world as well. So, and I don't think I really answered your question, but
Well, thank you. So a couple thoughts come from that. Thanks for saying what you did, and it's a weird question, I know, about physical immortality, because I'm one of the only people I know that believes in that possibility. So most of the time when I say it, even to someone like you who sees Centenarianism as a very viable thing, like it's another one of those ones that most of us don't even consider, right? Because we've told, like, the two things we know for sure: death and taxes. And so anyway, but the other thing that comes to mind, Deepak, is we're really struggling with our internet connection here, and I want people to be able to hear everything you're saying, but we keep freezing up. So I'm thinking that what we might want to do is actually reschedule, so we have you on when we can work it in a better way, so that everybody can hear it. Now that I said that, the last piece of my monologue, you didn't. Oh no, you did freeze up a little bit. But let's try this though. Before we call it quits, because I know that you've got something special coming up in short order, right? You have some free events and you've got a program. So would you tell us a little bit about what's coming up for you?
absolutely, yeah. Thanks for the opportunity, Daniel. So this coming Saturday and the following Saturday, so September 14 workshops, and it's called Change Your Reality, and it's a free workshop for everyone to attend, just to really think about broadening your mindset around what is manifesting the weight loss that has eluded you. And even though you've tried everything, that people told you to do, you count the calories and watched your macros, exercise, all these things, you struggle, how to handle that. Maybe you're someone who procrastinates and can never get motivated, something like that. Maybe it's growing your business. There's all limiting beliefs on themselves, and that's one of the big themes. Not the only theme, but one of the big themes that we'll be talking about in these free workshops. So I totally invite everyone to come join. It's deepaksainihealth.com/workshop. I'm sure we'll put the link there somewhere, and you can go and register for either one of those 2 dates.
Okay, got it. All right, so let's pop this up on the screen now. We've got your website here, and then you said there's a /, and what does the / say?
Workshop.
Workshop. So simple. I love it. Okay, cool. And I'm just going to double check. I believe you said it's coming up this Saturday in 2 days on the 14th, and then again on the 21st. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
All right.
September 14th and the 21st.
Okay. So let's do this too. I want to pop that correct URL into the comments, because I want to make sure everybody has that easy access here. Workshop. I'm going to type it out and make sure we got it correct. And we'll save that. And let's see. So does that look
There we
right
go.
there?
Perfect.
Okay. And so let's put this into the comments that should appear on all of our platforms. And so, yeah, I lament saying, Deepak, that I think it's better we cut our losses at this point and reschedule, and we can have a proper conversation and everybody can actually hear everything you're saying, because you got so much valuable stuff to share with people. I don't want people to miss out because they get frustrated with the connection. Does that sound all right for you?
That sounds perfectly fine, and hopefully there was enough of a tease here for people to want to check in
Yeah.
next time for sure. Your time as well.
Yeah.
Daniel.
I think what you said is hopefully there's enough of a tease for people to want to come check out the workshop. And I'm with you. It would be silly and foolish not to come and join your workshop. I know you've got so much value and you put so much effort into creating it that and everybody, myself included, we can all learn and get healthier and improve the quality of our lives on so many levels. So I encourage everybody, all the viewers and listeners, please do join Deepak on the 14th and the 21st. Both would be good because there's always more to learn. So with that, I think, Deepak, we'll pull the plug for the moment and then reconvene sometime soon.
Sounds good, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, likewise. You're welcome. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back with Deepak one day soon. Aloha, y'all.